Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. I am so excited to be participating in this Patriotic DIYs playlist hosted by Teresa at Teresa B Designs. This is going to be such a fun project. Please first check out Teresa's channel, because on her channel she is going to be donating all of her proceeds to the Fisher House from her advertising, as well as raffling off her projects for this one, and she also is going to have a few giveaways and gifts going on as well. So make sure to check all that out, and I hope you enjoy my project as well. Please subscribe. Would love it if you would leave me a like or a comment as well. But now let's get into the project. I'm going to be working with our Creative Memories Stars and Spirit designer paper pack. If you want to see all the pages in this paper pack, you can go to my live videos and find the introduction. But as soon as I saw it, I knew it was perfect for this playlist. We are going to be using this little firework page, as well as the quilted page, and this red page is going to be our base for our lantern. We're making a tissue box lantern today, and I am just so excited about it. It's going to be so much fun. We're also going to be using some of our Stars and Spirit stickers here. I'm going to incorporate the flag into the middle of our lantern, just to give it a little bit of extra patriotic pizzazz, although I think we're going to have a good bit going on. And then we're going to light up our lantern as well. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and cut our base page, which is going to be this red. We need a 7" by 10" piece of this for our base. And it looks like I'm going to have another scrap video coming, because we're going to have a couple of patriotic scraps coming up. I have so many ideas to use with these pages. So that's our base. We still need our trimmer. Here we go. I'm going to cut my quilted page with a little bit more of the blue showing. This more brighter blue. I just thought that it popped a little bit more. I'm going to line up right at 2 inches just inside of it. Make sure with my cutting guide that I am right on the line, and it looks like I am. We're going to go ahead and take that off. And then I am going to cut off this next row here, because I don't want to use that one. I want to use the other one with the electric blue again. Double check my cutting guide. Make sure I'm just a little bit off on this end. Here we go. And so there we go. I take off that row. Let's go ahead and grab this other one just inside of 2 inches on both ends. Although, of course, if I don't get it exactly right, I know I can fix it with my scissors, because paper is fun that way. You can always correct it. And then we need to go ahead and turn it, and we need 10 inches to make sure that we go around the entire Kleenex box here. So this is going to be actually right in between these 2 stars here. That looks good. So there we go. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Actually, I wonder if I should do the opposite and take off this other. No, let's be symmetrical. Why not? Okay, so we're not going to be symmetrical. Usually I like the symmetry, but this time we are not, and let's hope it works out for me. All right, I need to move this over just a hair to get it on this line. There we go. So that's kind of a sneak peek of what our lantern's going to look like. I've got a couple of little quilt blocks to use maybe for a card later. And that is it for cutting with our trimmer. I also need to grab out my cutting mat because we're going to cut a circle for the top part of our lantern, because I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily want to keep the Kleenex logo showing on here. And that is what this firework paper's for. We're just going to go ahead and so if you have a tea light that you want to use, an electric tea light, you could probably just place that on top of there. But I have some special LED lights that I found at one of our local thrift stores. And I'm going to use that because they were only $2 and they work great. And you can see it through the paper. And I think it's just going to be fun. So this one, you can see it's just enough to cover. That was the medium custom cutting system circle with our red blade on the inside track for those who might want to try out this project. Move aside my cutting mat, my little grippy pad that helps hold my cutting mat in place. And we are now ready to start gluing. I've placed a piece of parchment paper on my craft desk because I'm going to be using the Arlene's tacky glue again. It's not something I normally, I guess we could have used our tape runner, but I just thought that this would hold it a little bit tighter. And we will use the tape runner for the other part, but actually initially getting the paper onto the Kleenex box, I thought that it was a good thing to use the Arlene's for. So that's what we're going to do. And our width looks great. So I'm going to go ahead. I pulled out my little silicone glue spreading brush. And it's always fun to use glue that has air caught in it. Let's see if this is going to be enough for this thing. We don't want too much. We don't want too little. Okay, so I'm done spreading around my glue. So we're going to start in the middle. Here we go. We're going to start in the middle and we're going to wrap our paper around from the middle, just so that way we know we're getting it a little bit straighter rather than just starting on one end. And our design is forgiving. There we go. Woo! That worked out nicely. I'm going to smooth it out. We have got our seam over here, but it's not really super visible. And I think that is enough gluing for me. We're going to switch over to our tape runner for the next part. I have my permanent tape runner, and if I need to, I will grab my multi-purpose tool. I do want to make sure I get close to the edge here, especially on one end versus the other. There we go. And I'm going to wrap around the bottom first. And again, I'm going to start in the middle again because that seemed to work out best for me when I was putting the last layer around. Here we go. Oops, nope, I did go off just a little bit. And that is pulling a bit. I probably should have used my repositionable tape. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and try it this way. Let's make sure we're going even along the bottom here. And I'm just pulling really tight. Here we go. And if it really bothers you, you can line up all your seams in the same point. I'm just over just a hair. You know, there's more things to worry about in life than seams, but I will do my best to get this one lined up a little better, just in case, for those of you that it bothers. I will line this one up on the seam. Actually, I need to start on this end because my other end has the more of the tape on the edge. I'm hoping to, let's see if I get this straight. Let's hope so. Okay, there we go. I have it pulled pretty tight. All right. Whew. Okay, there we go. I did get my seams lined up better that time. So here we are. We have the base of our lantern. I need to get just a little more tape runner on there. Fold that in just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And I want to use the repositionable tape for our circle here. And I'm just going to go around the outside pieces of the circle because that's where the cardboard is on the lid. So that's what I'm going to stick this to. Here we go. Okay, so that's our top is done. Woo! I think. Let's hope I didn't push too hard. Okay. You know, sometimes goes a little smoother than other times. So if that's my seam-ish is on the back, this is kind of going to be my front where I kind of want my stars and stripes lined up nicely. So I'm actually, I don't think I'm going to line them up exactly like this. I think I'm going to offset the middle. And I know since we had 9 inches, 10 inches, we're going to have 2 inches coming off of our sticker as well. But that's not a problem because I have my microtip scissors and I can just trim off the little bit of extra stripe and the little bit of extra stars we're going to have over here at the end seam here. And then I can use that for another project. So I'm going to go ahead and get my other two put on and we'll be back with you. So I've now wrapped around my 3 flag stickers just to give it a little extra patriotic feel to my lantern. And we are going to add a handle for our lantern. I have a, let's see, where do I want this thing to come out of? I guess from the sides here, maybe in between these two. So I have a nail that I'm going to use to poke the hole. It has a very pointy tip on it. I'm going to go probably about maybe a 1/2 inch in here. It goes right in the seam here to start the hole. I'm going to use my wire cutters to help me get through here. I'm almost there. There we go. And then we need to make a slightly larger hole. So I have some little screwdrivers and I'm gonna take this and widen out that little hole that I've made. I'm gonna do the same on both sides. I need a hole big enough to get my floral wire through my craft wire. This is the, was it 26? Yeah, 26 gauge. I guess it would help if I looked at the English side, huh? Can tell I use wire every day, huh? This one is definitely a new project for me out of my regular comfort zone here. And it looks like going across, let me get my, I'm going to use my other piece here to help me eyeball this. Looks like it's going to go right through actually the outside of this other. And I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch again with my, so let's go ahead and get this through here. And we'll just give a little bit of extra we kind of want this to hang on the inside, of course, but I want to make sure to get it wrapped around so I know I've got enough up top here to go across my entire So maybe if I turn this a little bit, here we go. There we go. So that's inside, and I am going to trim off the end of the wire here. There we go. We'll just wrap that little end around. I feel like I went a little bit too high maybe on here, but we'll sort that out after. We want a nice little arc coming up from our lantern and enough to go through and wrap around again. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra here. So that wound up being right about, let's see here. Just going to pull the trimmer out to measure it real quick. I'd say it's probably about 14 inches of wire is what I wound up using. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this in from the outside as well. Wrap it around. That looks like a nice handle length there. Make sure this goes a little bit more on the inside here. Although I guess you really can't get that further in than what we have it. Okay, I'll see about moving that down a little bit there. Coming up, I have the little end I need to trim off. All right, and our lid needs to go back on, so I'm going to do this with my wire, so that way the thinner end is out. And actually, look at this, our tissue thing has a couple of grooves here on each end, so let's use those to work with us for our wire, and that'll help our lid to go. There we go, the lid just popped right back on, and we have a lantern. How cute is that? I love it. Now I need to get it back off so I can add our LED lights so we can light up our lantern. So I have it with the battery pack already. Like I said, these were just $2 at one of my local thrift stores. I'm going to go ahead and put the whole thing in. I guess if you want, I mean, this wire is kind of thin, but I didn't think it would actually let my Kleenex box shut again if I unwound it. You could potentially wind the lights around the little handle as well. Okay, let's go ahead and turn these on. I've got a little remote for them. There we go. And I think I liked number 3 because it was a little bit slower. So there we go. Our lights are going. We're going to go ahead and put our lid on. And so now it looks like our little fireworks are going in our lantern. How exciting. And like I said, you can also get a little tea light and place it on the top and kind of light your lantern from the top that way. But I had the LED lights. I figured I might as well use them. And it's just so fun because especially with this little firework paper on top, it makes it look like the fireworks are going a bit. Thank you again to Teresa at Teresa B Designs. Again, for hosting this patriotic DIY playlist. I had so much fun putting together my lantern, and I hope you enjoyed this project as well. Until next time.